right? We not having that. We want to build a community, forever. Kids when we went, period. All right, we back. Class is in session. Welcome everybody to our Mother's Day episode of A.M.UNIVERSITY. I'm your host, Antoine Miller. Wayne.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Everything good, man.
Keep pushing, boy. Keep pushing, man. Episode 35 at A.M.UNIVERSITY. We felt, being as though it's Mother's Day, we would talk about our moms and just talk about, the path that we went down, as far as our moms and the things that they've done for us on this Mother's Day. So, Mom, how you doing?
Blessed.
Blessed?
Yes.
Good to see you. Looking great.
Thank you.
Glad that you're on. Like I said before, this was actually Dorian's idea, a couple months back. So I gotta shout him out and tell him that that was a great idea.
Yes,
just have y'all on and just talk about our path. Just talk about our path and like I said before, coaching basketball, the most important thing to me is that you can equate the things that you got to go through in basketball to a lot of life situations. As far as adversity, as far as getting over the hump, as far as teamwork, selfishness, all type of things, right? And I think when it comes to a mom and sons, preferably a son relationship, I think that's really prevalent. Coming from where we come from, there's a lot of single moms.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of single moms, and somehow y'all just always figure it out. For us.
Right.
So let's start there. Let's start when you were 25 when you had me, right?
24.
24. Let's start from there about when you knew you was having a baby, and you made the choice to keep me. I want you to start there and talk about how you felt at that time, whether it was fearful, whether it was scary, and how did you feel like you was gonna go about it and just make it, like at that time?
Well, fearful that's a
understatement.
right.
Yeah.
Because it was my first, and it was no doubt that I wasn't going to keep you. I definitely that's what I really wanted to do, and just the thought of being single, a college dropout, and just moving ahead, what to do, because I didn't have my mom. I didn't have my mom to help me, and it was basically like, just doing it on my own. And but along came Antoine. I mean, he was a joy, really. I was looking his name up in the book, and I wanted to name him Antoine, so the girls could call him Tony for short. And every time I tell that story, people just laugh, but I just like the name Tony, but I didn't want him to be a Tony.
But that's his name now. Call him Tony from now on. Not Twan.
But it was scary. But I thank God He brought me through. Yeah. He brought me through.
So talk a bit about when you came over to Jersey from Philly. Like you literally had nothing. Like I just want to know what's going on through your head when you was like, what next? You tell this story all the time. We was living in that apartment, right? Well, we had 2 spoons, 2 forks, two
you remember that?
2 plates.
Well, before that, I was on welfare.
Yeah.
My aunt wanted me to come over to Camden to babysit pretty much her house because somebody kept breaking in her daughter worked in the daytime, or vice versa. She worked in the nighttime, and my aunt worked in the daytime. So somebody kept breaking in. So initially, I was supposed to come and house sit, but I didn't want to do that. Antoine was like a year old, and I didn't want to. It was just something in me that just gave me the oomph, because I kept trying in Philly to find my own place, to do this, do that. But Camden, when I came to Camden, it was like the doors just opened for me. You know, it just gave me this oomph to go out and get what I needed and do what I had to do. So when I moved there, I got me a job first, and that was at Martin Luther King, and then I got my place, Crestberry Apartments, my first place. I was so happy. Had no bed, no nothing. And we slept on the floor with one of the comforters that my sister had given me. And I had, you right, I had 2 forks, 2 knives, 2 spoons, and all that he and I needed. You know, you and I. It was just me and you for 6 years. Just me and you.
And it was yours.
Huh?
And
That's right.
yours.
That was mine. That's right. That's right.
Man, that just bringing back memories. Did you always think that your mom had money? I'm like money,
Well,
or you knew from an early age that?
Did I think? Yes, I thought she had money. Yes, looking.
I
from a
figured
kid
you was in the
looking up.
same boat as me.
Yeah, definitely thought.
When did it change for you that we not rich and like I could?
Probably going to my friend's house, going to another house and seeing how they live. I'm like, okay, I don't got that at home. Maybe we not doing as good as I thought we was. You know, seeing one of those big houses down in Williamstown change your life. Little grass all the way around. Like, okay. You know, I'm living in Ivy Hill, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking Ivy Hill is what it is. And the houses across the street from Ivy Hill is what the nice houses look like.
I honestly thought that, and this is just me being transparent, and I honestly thought that like the way that we were living, this is how everybody's
Right.
home
Everybody's
situation
situation.
is, right? And like you never showed us the bad initially until we got older, and we could still you not, I ain't gonna say the bad, but you never showed us what you had to do in order to get us the things that we wanted, not even needed, the things that we wanted, right? And like I'm just thinking about me coming to you asking for sneakers and clothes, and like you never you never shied away from any of it. You always figured it out. But me being away from the responsibilities that you have, I'm like, well, we got it. Like, yeah, my mom got it, and things like that. Tell me, because I got a response to what you're gonna say for my own self. Tell me what you was thinking in those times about just giving us or providing us the things that we not even so-called needed but wanted. Like, what was your mind frame in that?
I wanted to make you happy. I wanted to give you something that I didn't have, because I mean that was like special to me. That was my heart's content to not necessarily be a good mom, but just to see the smiles on your face when I did that for you. It made me feel so good inside. It made me feel really good. And coming from my background, where I was in a foster home, it was entirely different. And I said I was going to always be good to my children. You know, I was going to always be good to my kids. And when I did that, I mean, when income tax would come, I'm telling you, I was in seventh heaven, because the first thing I did was take y'all out and go shopping. Mm-hmm. You know, and I mean, those $150 sneakers didn't matter to me then. It didn't. It really, really didn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I always made sure my bills was paid. You know, bills were paid first, and then, you know, I treated my kids.
Yeah. Did you like with that?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like.
Yeah, I know you are.
Dang. My closet was stacked with 150. Stacked like 150 times 10 is what?
Don't get. I'm
Like,
terrible in math.
And I did not need none of it. I wanted it, and I got it though. I had a Sega. I had a Nintendo. I didn't need that.
It like, and it took me. I'm talking about. I mean, Wayne can speak for itself, but full transparency. I carried that mind frame into my like 20s and close to 30s. That like the thing about I know Wayne is the same way with this with his mom. Like you always protected us from everything. Like any type of fear or any type of negative thing that came our way. Like little things like I remember you driving a car and we could possibly get hit, and I'll never forget your first thing was to do this. Yeah. No matter what, if we got into an accident, no matter what, and I always like to me that epitomized how you looked at us with everything in the world, right? And
yeah,
and you was doing it out of the pureness of your heart, you know, and what you lacked thereof growing up, and giving it to us. But I want to put myself in the category of kids today, right? I think kids today, they're extremely selfish when it comes to parents, like, and especially like single moms, because I think a lot of single moms feel like you did, where I gotta either overcompensate because I'm a single mom and the dad put me in this situation, or you don't want that feeling that you had as a kid anymore. You don't want your kids to feel that way, right? So I gotta do whatever it is to give them whatever they want, right? But I think a lot of kids was like me, where I know my mom gonna get it. It don't matter what she gotta go through to get it. I know my mom is gonna get it, you know, and make me happy. So I'ma always ask her or whatever like that. And like now it goes into when you 25 and you know when you 28, now you get in a relationship. Now you might have some responsibilities, but you still, again, just full transparency, you know, mama's boy. You still lean on your mom, might not be financially, but for some type of support to cover you or whatever like that. And you know, we had this talk when I was going through, you know, kind of like life-changing things, you know, relationships and financial and responsibilities, you know. And I could say this because we had a talk. Like, you remember, like I kind of blamed you, right? Mm-hmm. You remember we were sitting in the car that time? Mm-hmm. And like I yelled and everything, and like I blamed you for nothing you had any control of. It had nothing to do with you. It was about my growth as a man, and like I blamed it on you because of how you raised us. Like, you remember that? Like, how did you feel when we was going through that together?
Well, one, I don't remember you yelling at me. You were really adamant about what you were saying, but you didn't yell. You never disrespected me like that.
Yeah.
But I felt on that conversation, I was so hurt because there isn't a handbook to parenting. You do the best that you can with what you can, with what you have. And we don't always do what we supposed to do, but we always do. I know I did what I had to do. And that was raising y'all the best that I could. You know, I didn't have pretty much a mom to show me the left and the right and the wrongs. You know, right. Yeah, think about it, and you pretty much learned on your own.
Right.
You pretty much learned on your own. So,
right.
I just that conversation really touched me. I remember calling you and crying profusely because I just wanted to apologize to you because I saw hurt in you.
Yeah.
I saw hurt, and I never wanted to hurt neither one of my children. You know what I'm saying? I just did everything in love. That was the most important thing right there.
Yeah.
I did everything in love.
But it was never your responsibility in the first place to, teach me how to be a man. It'll come a time where, again, I don't know how you feel about this, Wayne. It come a time where you got to take responsibility for yourself and your own, actions, where you can't lean on whoever anymore. And like, I think a lot of kids, a lot of grown men do the same thing with their moms. They'll lean on them and want to put the blame on them, or want to, just go to them for support and cover to make things comfortable.
I think that's a bad thing or a good thing? I know I leaned on my mom until she went. She was like my everything. She was my friend. She was my advisor. She was my secretary.
If you don't abuse
it.
If you don't abuse it.
I abused it. I abused it. But her leaving, it showed me how much of a blessing she was in my life too, though. So it kind of was like a twofold. Like when she was here, I was spoiled, and then now that she's not here, I'm learning. I guess I'm learning to take control of my own actions. Cause I don't have that lean. I can't lean back on her no more. So now I gotta go forward. It happened to me in my 30s, but I mean, I'm learning now. You feel me? And then me and my dad got cool when I got older. I had him a little lean back on him a little bit. Then he left. So now it's really real. But every time something get hard, I always go back to what they taught me. It's always, I see my mom telling me stuff, and as I'm looking at Miss Maggie talk, she reminds me of my mom when she talking. So it's like, I'm kind of like looking at her, looking at my mom, like, So I say all that to say, I don't think it's too much of a bad thing when a black man leans on his mom, because that was the foundation he came up on. So who else he gonna lean on? You know what I mean?
That's $1 million question.
I mean, some people got their pop around and everything. You can lean on both, but in the city, you know what I mean, in Camden, it's a lot of moms in the household, So I think, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but I know I was one of the ones that leaned on my mom, even as a grown man, for everything.
You know what? That's a really fair thing that you just said.
I go get a car, I'm taking my mom with me. I like all types of crazy stuff,
If you can't lean on your mom, who else is there to lean on?
Get pulled over, call my mom. I ain't calling my lawyer, call my mom. Mom,
that's your first. That's your first thought.
Grown man.
It's your first thought is to call your mom.
Yeah. No.
But I mean, it hurt me. I never told Antoine this, but it hurt me when he just like, to me, it just seemed like he was just gradually shutting me out. As a mom, you feel that your children, you got a bond with them. Mm-hmm. You have a bond. I don't know about every parent. I don't know, but I know within myself.
What age was that?
I have a bond.
What age was that when he was like shoving you away?
Well, it gradually happened as he started his relationship.
Okay.
And I just felt hurt. And I think Antoine said something to me like, Mom, you got to go get somebody in your life because you can't depend on, But it's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of love that you have for your child. Both children, it's just different, and it's sometimes I don't think it can be explained. I really don't. I remember DeAndre said to me one time, he was about I don't know, maybe 11 or 12, and he said to me, Mom, when are you going to be a full-time mother? When are you going to be a full-time mom? I was working 2 jobs, full-time, part-time, and going to school full-time. So it really hurt me because I'm showing them that this is what I want you to do. Mm-hmm. This is how hard I want you to press. But at the same time, it made me see that I was hurting them in a way too. I was hurting them in a way because, here come my baby, my son, saying, Mom, When are you gonna be a full-time mom? Where do you get that from?
Right.
You know?
Right.
But that's another question. It's kind of like what Wayne said. I don't even know what the right answer is to Wayne's question. I don't know what the right answer is to that. You got to provide, or you could just lack thereof, or be with your kids. It's like the cards that we dealt, man. It's just.
If you ever build that handbook, it's gonna be a rich guy, yo. Handbook of parenting, they gonna be trillionaires.
Not even that though. The handbook of parenting and art culture.
Yeah, that's all we talking about anyway.
I'm sorry.
We ain't talking about
The handbook and art culture. It's just like, but before I forget, I just want to say, like, I didn't know how to juggle, like, trying to become a man and trying to become a son. Like, that's full honest. I didn't know how to juggle it. Like, I'm trying to be a man over here, but I also still got to be a son. But I also need to be a man for myself. It's like, what, I'm gonna try to give everybody 50-50. It ain't that much percentages in the world. It's like, I didn't know which way to go, you know? And it's like, I don't think midlife crisis for men anymore is 50. I think it's 30. Like, I really do, because the world moves so fast. I think our midlife crisis is at 30 years old, and it's like, for some reason, to me, in my opinion, I feel like that's when life really hits you, at 30 years old, because, you know, we did what we did in high school. The 20s is kind of a blur as well. You might just have a job just to get by, but you're kind of still doing the same thing you was doing as a teenager. And now it's like 30, like, you might have a kid, you might have financial difficulties, and it's like, bam. And like, that's how I felt at the time. It was like, I knew you was there to support, but you couldn't understand that part. There's no way you can understand that part of being a man, you know, or trying to be a man, you know, from that perspective. I needed a male at that point, you know, and you loved me the best way that you could, you know, but your job was done.
That's right.
You did. Your job was done.
To love you as a mother. You really don't. And I didn't know that back then. I didn't. All I knew is I had 2 children to raise, and I wanted to do the best that I could. I mean, we were surrounded by, drugs or whatever. And I thank God. And it was nobody but God, Antoine, I'm telling you, and Wayne, that kept y'all focused, so to speak. Kept y'all focused. Now, no, I wasn't with you 24 hours a day. No, I wasn't. But I knew you came in that door and you did what you were supposed to do, you know. But I'm just saying that I personally, as a woman, know I couldn't raise a man. I'm a woman. I don't know how to raise a man. I know how to raise my child with the necessities of life, like being able to cope with life, being able to, be respectful, be kind, be courteous, be a gentleman. That type of stuff I had no problem with. Mm. But the type of, the manly things that was evidently going to come into your life as you got older, I didn't know about that stuff.
But you saying all the core values though. Like, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like, even in sports, you saying all the core things needed to be successful. Mm-hmm. You know, and I can't speak for Wayne or nobody else. I just know I abused, part of it, and I'm saying it on air. Like I always say, like I want to apologize to you for that. Because you didn't deserve that part. You did everything necessary. Like, all our moms was close, bro. Like, and mm-hmm. You go to somebody else's house, you get the same respect, and you get those same values that you talking about though. And everybody's mom's car and everybody's mom household, you respected them, And I really think at the core, I mean, like, drug dealers, they looked out for us and they made sure we didn't, do nothing wild. But I really think it was what you saying that why none of us went left. all the way far left.
What's that foundation?
Foundation.
Amen.
It's because of those values that y'all instilled in us.
And I'm telling you, it wasn't just us. Prayer played a big part in my life. I don't know about anybody else, but prayer played a big part in, keeping me steadfast. I wasn't a run the street person. I was a homebody person. Keeping y'all together, like doing what I asked you to do. You wasn't perfect at it, no, but you still did what you were supposed to do, and you made me proud. You made me proud. I'm telling you, people can see you on the street, and I'm serious. Your son is so respectful. Your children are this, and it was always a kind word, never a negative word, never. It wasn't a thing I was beating behinds. I wasn't, I did when it was necessary, but with you and DeAndre, I never had that issue.
Your mom beat you? I know you got whippings.
I used to get whoopings in the shower.
I know you got whippings.
She used to wait till I used to think she forgot, and come with the shower.
I know you got whippings.
Yeah. Yeah, I got whoopings a lot.
Can you count the amount of times your mom made sacrifices for you?
Probably every day. When she used to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still asleep. When she told me to wake up, cause she about to go to work, and my oatmeal downstairs got to get cold. She had to cook me oatmeal. She cooked me oatmeal, I'm still asleep. I'm snoring. She downstairs cooking me oatmeal and then about to leave out the door. And then come all the way upstairs to wake me up and say I'm leaving.
But you know what, Wayne, Antoine, to that question, you two really don't know. He said sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
That was a blessing that she did.
Mm-hmm.
But sacrifices, some you see and some you don't.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, some you see and some you don't. And I mean, we sacrifice as single parents. We really do. But guess what? It's okay. You content with that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm
'Cause it's for
saying?
your child.
As long as you meet the needs of your children.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But sacrifices, wow. Some you don't even know about. I'm serious.
I can dig it.
I am so serious.
It's just a highlight reel going on in my head about all the little things that you just did. Like, just, you ain't even blink an eye about it because, again, I just full transparency. Like, I'm a selfish guy. Like, I think before I do things, like, because of the selfishness in me. Like, that's just innately, like, I'm a selfish guy. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it might get me in trouble. But I think about y'all as moms, it was never a question. Like, whatever, you would break your back just to put a smile on a kid's face. It's just like,
You didn't realize it then, though, right? You can look at it now and realize it, right?
at all. And like, the more I grow, it's like the more I just, I'm just appreciative. I hope you understand that. Like, I'm appreciative of all those things. You working 2.5 jobs, bro, like, and going to school at the same day. Like, why am I not cooking dinner?
Never frowning.
Never frowning, coming in the house and still making us something to eat. Like, why am I not cooking dinner? Like, it's just like.
Well, I can be transparent. I wasn't really much of a cook, but you know what amazes me is that I wasn't a good cook, but they ate it.
Oh, ate it. Sometimes you put the plate on
ate
food,
it.
they eat it, huh?
That was nice.
That's nice.
But it was 1.5, full-time, part-time job. I ain't going to school full-time, but Anthony, you've told me this before, though. This is not something new to me. I don't know if you remember when we was over there on 2432 and you was telling DeAndre, and we was standing there in the doorway, and you was telling DeAndre, we could have been a lot of things, but this woman right here kept us from being anything that was negative. See? Oh. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That really touched me right there. And it wasn't a thing that I was trying to be mean. I wasn't. I wasn't. But I knew with boys, you had to be stern. And to tell you the truth, you had to be stern with some girls these days too. But you had to be stern with them though. You really had to keep them focused. And sometimes, yeah, they would stray just a little bit. But Antoine, you and DeAndre always came back. You always came back. Then you gonna find out with Charlie. You gonna find out.
Yeah, but I knew it was gonna go like this, but I just want to say it on camera, like I can't put into words how much I appreciate you. Like, you know, I'm not a guy that talks unless there's a reason to talk. Like, just talk for it, just because I got a mouth. I hope you really know how much I appreciate you. Again, like Wayne's situation is the same way. Like we just had a really good foundation, man. And I say that word a lot, and it's the simple things like that you know. Y'all gave us the alley-oop. I mean, y'all gave us the alley-oop, you know, and it was just for us to catch it, you know. And I think just me and Wayne sitting here right now, I think we starting to understand that. Finally, I think we starting to understand that. So, I love you. Thanks for coming.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Mother's Day, all the moms.
Dang, Antoine, you had me crying, man.